Hey everyone, just a quick show note that unfortunately when I pulled the files for editing, I noticed there was some bad distortion. I had to do some creative editing in the beginning intro, which you may notice a weird flow to the conversation, but that's all it is. Other than that, I hope you really enjoy listening to this episode as much as we did recording it. It was a lot of fun. All right, take care.
Yeah, we talk about CB and Joe as like I don't know, I love to hate him, it's like everything he puts out is so good, and he's like that baby daddy with really good dick, and it's like you don't really want to go back to him. But for some reason you're letting him come over all the time, and he's gonna take $10 out of your purse before you leave, but you're fine with it. And it's like
That's the t-shirt.
Bring me the next shiny new thing. Bring me the next shiny new thing. Bring me the next shiny new thing. Bring me the next shiny new thing.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Big Bad Figcast. My name is Brett, also known as Geek Over 40, and today I am joined by Kerry, also known as Kerry and her bricks. Say hello, Kerry.
Hello, Kerry.
So we had a bit of a break from the winter. I think we did our episode was the top figs of 2023. Took a bit of a break to catch our breath, planning for the next, I guess you call it a season. Really excited. We got Brick World coming up in June. Before we go too much longer, I want to introduce our guest today. She is someone that I got introduced to through Kerry, actually. And it's been nonstop fun getting to know her. I think she's a shot in the arm we need for some fun and humor in this community. We've had a lot of crap going on, so to speak. And I really think we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Yeah, Shawty's been around for a good minute and does a lot of great community stuff on her own. Kerry, did you want to dive into some of the questions you had regarding Shawty and how she came to be?
Yep. I'm glad you asked. Let me check my script. Well, we want to know what got you into Lego. Were you into Lego as a kid? Did it happen like during COVID, like a lot of people? Talk to us.
what connects more than anything. The big ball factory, the big merry-go-round. Those were all really cool, but I did find it hard to free build. Oh, and I love Lincoln Logs too. Which
I love some Lincoln Logs.
yeah, you can make certain shapes, but pretty much there's a square. So it's like I got as much as I could with those. I used to play with all of them together with these trolls that my dad found for me. They were like these G.I. Joe body trolls. They weren't like your standard little cute fat belly, shirt trolls. These things were like little mechs. So I take those and, like storm the castle and throw them on the merry-go-round, whatever. But that's really how I used to play as a kid. Lego got in there sometimes, but not as often. What brought me back to it was actually grief. I lost my brother. He died, and I was just having a hard time with it. And one day I was in the store and I saw the Sesame Street set. And I was like, wow, Sesame Street, man, I love it still. I love puppets and Muppets and all of those things. So I grabbed it and I was like, you know what? It's worth the spin. I like to build. This is something fun to do. I needed a break from puzzles, which were starting to bore me because, again, I wanted to, once I put them together, that was kind of the end. It feels like a cheat to me going back to do a puzzle again. I kind of remember where the pieces go. And so it's not as fun the second time around. So it's like, yeah, let me try this. And I put together that Sesame Street set like over 2 days. And it was the most amount of joy that I had in months. Just feeling nostalgic, putting the minifigs together and, just breaking out bag by bag and seeing this thing come together. I still get that feeling like my cheeks right now.
Yeah, you're smiling really hard right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really brought me back into Lego and building. And after that, I just felt like a fiend. The next day I went to Target. and I bought what are they called? Not the creator sets, the classics. I bought some classics because I just wanted free bricks to just build whatever I wanted, and I was hooked from there. I went on YouTube, of course, and did the whole YouTube University. How do people build? Got way too many ideas. Decided to cut all of that out and go back just to building what was on paper, and then deciding like how to traverse everything else from there on out.
First of all, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thanks.
You know, and yeah, I found with the Lego sets, I was in a pretty dark hole, and just the idea of getting lost in everything, it's almost like physical white noise for me, so
Yeah.
that it just blocks everything out, and I can just focus on putting things together. And I don't even get mad when I have to take something apart because I missed a step or screwed something up, because it's still just that tactile feel of just taking things apart, putting it back together. I throw on some music, and I just disappear into the set until it's done, and it's like therapy for me. And embarrassingly, I've got like 4 or 5 sets I've yet to put together because there's a storage room. Essentially, I don't have a place to really display right now for these sets, but it's through Kerry's efforts with the mock offs that she's been doing that's enabled me a chance to create again and build things, and I've been very grateful for that because I haven't built a lot since since the Daily Bugle set really, but I've got like several others I need to put together.
Say that issue of space becomes very prevalent very quickly, you know, like you build a few sets where you think, oh, I have all of these shelves and that's fine. And you look up and they are full and you have more that you bought because you thought you had the room and now you're in there searching for creative ways to create space, you know?
Yeah, I'm wondering if I need to start triaging and saying, okay, well, you know what, this is a cool set, but maybe it's time to take it apart and I can use this for mock parts later.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm getting at. But some of the things I've got are like I don't buy sets very often. So if I buy sets because I really like, or I feel like it's like a really something iconic like the Daily Bugle or Doctor Strange's house, so I don't want to take it apart. But I have the old version and the new version of Doctor Strange's house. So I'm probably gonna take apart the old version so I have parts to build something else with.
Smart move.
So do you have any other particular themes that you collect or try to avoid?
Um, Not really. I would say at this point, I bought a lot of modulars, and I'm into Ninjago, so I would say a lot of my money went there. But for the most part, I buy a lot of free bricks. So I go to Bricks and Minifigs or Atlanta Brick Co. here down in Noonan to just source pieces. Like you, lately, I would say in the last 6 months, I really haven't bought any sets. I've just been mocking or modifying old sets.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that's how your Instagram started. You were doing some really cool like micro build mocks with like I saw with the Muppets
Yeah,
and the Dr. Honeydew and the Fozzie Bear. You did the comedy stage. And those are really good. I mean,
yeah. Thank you.
so and that's how I got to know you when Kerry introduced you. When she started sharing some of your builds. I was like, this is a lot of fun, and it's your builds are like complex, but they feel approachable. Like if I put some energy into this, maybe I could do what you're doing. But I'm too busy staring at these people that are doing these like mountainscapes where I wouldn't even know where to begin. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's been fun watching your account grow because it's inspirational because it makes me feel like, okay, you can do a lot of cool stuff in a small space if you're creative enough about it. You don't have to do something grandiose. You don't have to do this Star Wars Battle of Geonosis shit, with 1,000 vehicles to make something cool with just a corner. It amazes me when I see people just make like a corner of a building, and that's what I did for my mock. That corner of a log cabin for that zombie thing I did for Kerry's mock off contest.
That was so good.
Yeah, well, it looks good because I
That's really
cropped it in
cool.
really tight.
Yeah.
I hid 'em. You hide all the pieces that are holding it together.
Of course.
There's a little more sticky tack in there than I like to admit to.
I gotta say, people went hard on that theme. Like, I was like, holy shit. Some of those builds
Phenomenal.
look like they took a lot of time.
And
Yeah.
some of the ones coming in for your new theme right now, the Zombie Day at Work, is looking really good too.
They're so cute.
And
Yeah.
I mean, cool.
I think I'm hoping tomorrow I can sit down and actually dedicate time to doing an entry.
You got 2 days tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what's going on.
You can do it.
I'm trying. So, how did you get into customs? How did you break out of, for someone who's into like Ninjago and Technic and classics? I mean, you really hit the whole gamut. How did you discover
Mhm.
customs and get into them?
Really, I paid no real attention to the minifigures until my mom sent me into this minifig search. She was looking for certain ones, and I'd help her find them. I'm like, oh, these are cute. And while watching Lego Masters, you know how people would use the minifigures to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
So first it was about minifigures, and I just got some from Lego, and I discovered Zach's page, Minifigure Folks, and he at the time he had this profile picture. I think it was like tape with the neutral face on it, but it was on the pyramid head, and I was just like, oh my God, what is this, and how do I get my hands on it, you know? And I felt like such a groupie because I went through his page that night, and I'm just like looking at all of these creations, and that's where I got started. He's a really nice guy. I don't know if I reached out to him first or probably I was just chatting with him, you know, kind of like, where do you get these things and how do you find them? And I call him my Pied Piper into customs because he definitely showed me the way. And not long after the Barf Bash began, which is how then I found all of the different customizers throughout the community, from the big names to just people who were customizing their own just for themselves. You know, it was fantastic. And one day I saw a post of Cookie Monsters with his arms stretched out. And that was the moment I knew. I was like, what's so different about this picture? Why is it taking me in? And I realized his arms were out. And that's when I got into Crazy Bricks. And I just
Oh
couldn't look
yes.
back from there on out. I was just like, oh man, they've got hooves, they got mouse heads. And I just lost my mind. Like last summer, I spent all of my money pretty much on organization and minifigures. Like all the customs. I didn't even want a Lego minifigure anymore. They stopped seeing me at bricks and minifigs, or when I go in, I'm like, nope, I'm just here for the bricks. Don't care for what's in your case. Because I know there's a drop coming out next week. And at one point, everyone was dropping back to back to back to back. And at one point, I told my mom, I got to catch my breath because it's like every other week, someone's new doing a new drop, and then like my favorites come back into play, and I'm gonna go broke here if I don't like actually start to moderate and figure out how much like buying Lego sets, what is it that I want, and how to really rein this in, but continue to enjoy it before I burn myself out, you know?
I think, like, you know how they have like the stages of like, what is it? The stages, it's like grief, it's like denial, anger, or whatever. We need like the stages of collecting, you know,
We do.
the joy of discovering to the, when you hit that point where you're like overwhelmed from what's all the stuff coming out, to the point where you're disenfranchised and don't care about the standard Lego stuff, to the point where you're like, okay, I got to take a step back or I'm going to have to take a second mortgage on my house. I mean,
Right.
there's all these steps that I've heard these stories over and over and over again. And we've got to find a way to be more formulaic about how we describe it, because I just feel, I just feel like it's something we all experience in one form or another. And I mean, we did a whole episode on FOMO, fear of missing out, and apparently that helped a lot of folks. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-listen to it, because that was only our second episode, and we were still finding our footing, getting comfortable on the microphone and all that stuff. And I might want to do a revamped version of that where we touch on that, because one of the key reasons why I like having folks like yourself and Jamel and collectors that have been around much, they came in and then they dove in deep, but somehow they managed to survive and pull themselves out. Whereas you have older collectors that are still barely treading water and trying to figure out what they want out of their collection and what they're trying to do and what their goals are for it and what their interests are, and as it pertains to their budgetary limits, you know.
Yeah.
So today I passed on my first CB drop in, I don't even remember the last time I passed on a CB drop. It was the
So did I.
guitars.
Me too.
We should get a Lego tile for like one day of sobriety.
Yeah, I'm sure CB will create that for us.
Yeah, I'm sure Joe's thrilled to hear this right now.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't because
Delete
it
that.
wasn't for the lack of quality product that he dropped out. The guitars were cool. It's just
Yeah, they were
I was
really
telling
cool.
Kerry before we started recording, I got hit with I got like $2,200 in like suggested repairs to my car today. You know, tires, transmission, and all stuff. My car's only 2018.
Lemon.
119,000 miles on it, but yeah, it's still pretty modern. And then I had also bought some this new brand Enigma bricks, which is run by Huddy Studios or Griff, and Elijah, who is the brick engineer off Brick Chat or the host of Brick Chat. They launched their brand today with some like these tactical vests, pad printed over
Oh
prints.
yeah, saw those.
So I had to grab all the Spidey versions. So if you missed a Spidey, it's my fault.
Mm.
But so I was like, they were like $6 a piece. So yeah, that was great. But I was like, this is all I can do today. I can't be buying like a dozen guitars but yeah, definitely want to revisit the FOMO episode and figure out more about maybe come up with some sort of 12-step program to help people get over it.
Yeah, well, you can't get over it until you hit your low, whatever that is for you, and
That is true.
I don't know what it was for me. I think it was just, like I said, when I realized that the hits won't stop coming and you just can't get everything, and
Yeah.
also because I started following a lot of different folks who like the customs or they fake barf a lot, so it's like they have things for sale all the time and I'm just like, whatever it is that I want, I'll eventually get. So patience became a it patience led me. It's like, I can wait on some things. They'll come down the pipeline. I actually just secured a Tupac figure. Well, the torso and the head, not the legs. But I'll take it,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I still need to get a Gambino, Childish Gambino fig and a Joe Dirt. It's just one of those things that I keep pushing off because all this new stuff keeps coming out. I don't hunt for old stuff, but I know I'll come around eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also realized that, I could sink a lot of money into this stuff. And it's like, I want to go to Brick World Chicago, and so it's like, do I want to buy some customs or would I rather get a plane ticket? It's so when I really want something right now, I'm just saving it and I'm throwing it towards my Brick World Chicago cash pile. I need some walking around money. I'm sure I'm going to go a little crazy and I'm giving myself permission to do so by holding off now. So, delayed gratification.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and that's what I'm trying to do right now with my pay time off. Is I'm trying to work extra hours to bank extra vacation time to cover the trip, and then waiting for our tax refunds. While we got to finish filing our taxes, then tax refund. I just told my wife, I was like, some of this money is going towards Brick World.
Yeah. I forgot about the tax refund. Thank you. That just made me excited too.
Kerry, did you want to go into more questions about customs?
Yeah, I would love to know what was your first CB purchase and what was your first mini bigs purchase?
Oh yeah.
Roughly, if you remember.
My first CB purchase was Doughboy. There was a re-release and it was the one that I lamented the most not buying it. It was the first time. So when I was introduced to Citizen Bricks and I saw $25 minifigures, I was like, you're out of your mind. I was buying $5 Lego minifigures and I saw the Doughboy had been released then. When I finally got up the courage to buy it, it was gone. And I'd been lamenting it. So when they dropped it, I don't know, it was quietly done. And I was just on the website one day and saw it. And I instantly went to my mom's. Like, I was so excited because she was looking forward to it. And I was like, hey, Doughboy, they have Doughboy. You got to go get it right now before it sells out. Get it. And so we were both like on the site, snatching it up. And I love that figure. Like, I've never taken it apart. And I've seen people do wonderful things with it, but I love it just as it is. So I'll get over that one day. Mini bigs. I don't think I've ever had a mini big figure. I've bought some of their pieces. Like, I have the tracksuit. No, you know what? My first mini bigs was Steve Harvey. I have the Steve Harvey figure.
And that's oh, okay, yeah, the one that just came out not too long ago.
Yeah. That was my first minifigure purchase from them, and he looks really good. He cracks my friends up. I have him displayed prominently over by the boutique, and so when people come in and they're looking at the minifigures and they see him, they just crack up about it. Really well done. I'm really starting to understand prints and what it is that I'm looking for, and remembering those things when I'm purchasing. So like my purchases don't feel so impulsive anymore. They're done with a bit more thought. Like, does it have side printing? Is it printing on the back? Like, that's what does this price tag actually include, And I understand like more costs more, so to speak, but also sometimes they stay within a certain range. And
Not that I've noticed, but you haven't really like gone down the rabbit hole of like collecting like a misprint color that you target at any point in time, right?
I haven't, but I'm starting to figure that out too. Like Kerry actually turned me on to it. Kerry has a certain color that
Very
she loves.
Sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
I don't know that she knows she's done it, but I'm like, man, like she can barf anything, but the colors usually match up. But you have one dominant color that you really like, And I was like, man, that's so smart. I should actually think about like what colors I like to work with because I just buy randomly and I shotgun it whenever I'm on those sites, and whatever I can get in my cart and stays there and I can check out with, I'm running. But now it's like, all right, actually, I like gold and purple, and so that's my main focus now.
It's a
when
nice
I'm collecting.
combination too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I try to circumvent it. Like I just like bright colors in general. I like contrast. So when people are like, whenever there's a drop, if it's like got like browns and dark greens, I kind of shy away from all those because I want, the corals and the aquas and things that just look vibrant. But like for me personally, people often think that I chase yellow as my misprint color, and they offer me like, "Hey, I found this torso in yellow," but it's not really the torsos. I just go for the yellow heads,
Gotcha.
because I don't know. It's just I like the idea of some sort of perversion to the Lego ideal. so, that, so, so having all the yellow heads that people would walk up to and be like, "Oh, it's Lego." Oh, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the idea that I like.
Why are there dicks on that?
There are dicks on that Lego head face,
Right?
but that's kind of like what I like the yellow heads of everything else. Torsos, it could be any color. Just because honestly, a yellow head on a yellow torso, it starts looking too monochromatic, and again, that contrast is lost. I do have a few yellow bodies or yellow torsos, and I just got the yellow turtles. So there are some exceptions to the rule, but generally it's only the heads I'm after, which has made life a lot easier for me. Because now there are other people out there that are now hunting yellows as well, and so I'm trying to stay out of their way so they can get what they want. And I just focus on the heads.
That's really kind. But that puts you in a position of power.
Too
You
kind.
can't have it
too
all,
kind.
right? And
True.
and I can't afford it all. So heads are a lot cheaper than full fakes. The thing is now with like on conventions when Joe's doing the way he's done. He did a Brick World, on a Brick Fair, excuse me, and I'm sure how he's continuing to doing it. He's been releasing the parts as fig barfs themselves. So if I want the yellow head, I got to buy the whole figure. But then if I need a head, I need a body. So it kind of works out. But if I don't like the body, I can always trade those parts.
True. Yeah, we talk about CB and Joe as like I don't know. I love to hate him, It's like everything he puts out is so good. And he's like that baby daddy with really good dick. And it's like you don't really want to go back to him. But for some reason you're letting him come over all the time, and he's gonna take $10 out of your purse before you leave, but you're fine with it. And it's
This
like,
is going to be the intro to this episode. That's the T-shirt. Citizen Break Joe. He
Very
got
true.
good dick. That's how we're gonna put it.
He ain't shit, but he got good dick.
I want to see a mock of this, Kerry, in the next 2 weeks. This is the theme for the
Got
next
it.
mock off. The theme is
Yeah.
Baby Daddy using the Joe stick fig.
Yes.
Yeah.
Baby Daddy Joe.
Very specific.
I'm gonna so bring this up in front of him, in front of you, in a Brick World.
Oh yes, I'm totally with it. Slap it on me, Daddy. He's like, "What you got for me today?"
So, speaking of community, you had made, I don't know how to transition out of this one. You had made mention about, hey, what I do for the community, but you yourself have been pretty active in your own community. I saw you're part of a lug over in Atlanta, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And then are you still part of the Dream Builders lug?
I'm still part of Dream Builders.
And because you were actually, I saw you were nominated for Builder of the Month.
Yeah, that was some time ago.
I dig deep when I do these interviews. I dig deep.
I see. Like, I forgot about that even.
So let's start with the past and work our way to the present. So tell us about Dream Builders.
So yeah, Dream Builders, I came upon them when I first started my Instagram page. Lene, who was like the ambassador, reached out to me and, invited me to be part of the lug. By that point, I'd done a lot of Lego research, so I was familiar with the lug. And I was still waiting on my clearance to join the Peach Lug, which is here in Georgia. And so, yeah, she's like, we accept builders of all kinds. We're here to just highlight your talents and showcase Black and brown builders and people of all colors. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it. So she and I worked together at one point to come up with some themes and for monthly builds focused on the Kwanzaa principles. Kwanzaa, which is an African American holiday that's celebrated in December. And they have, each day represents a different principle. So we did things around unity, self-determination, etc. So that was my work with Dream Builders and starting off there.
Excellent. And now you got the Atlanta lug, right?
Yeah, so the Georgia lug, we'll say. It's the Peach lug. And I go to their meetings about once a month. We just had bulk lug, which I'm very excited about.
What was it called? Sorry?
The bulk lug, where Lego sends out all of the pieces that are available for really cheap. And you
get okay. All right. No, I just misunderstood what the term was. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a Southern accent, so sometimes my tongue is...
No, I half my life was spent in North Carolina. You're fine. I think it was just a microphone thing.
But yeah, so Peach Lug, this month we have a challenge going on, and I'm actually building with someone else. It's my first time building with another person. Shawtybricks and I are doing a build together of winter transitioning into spring.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're going to see how it turns out. Like, I'm always curious how these ideas come to manifest.
Is your partner local to you, or is this something you have to mail back and forth to build on each other, or how's that working?
No, she's nearby, so she's here as well.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Yeah, we were supposed to meet up yesterday, but I had a job engagement. I had to go rub elbows, so we'll get together soon to finish out the build. It's a little 16 by 16, and if it's chosen or if it wins at the lug, it gets displayed at the Lego store. So it's really cool having an in-person lug. Iron sharpens iron, so it's nice to be there to look at other people's displays and ask them questions and really get some good feedback even on what I do, so I don't feel it's siloed.
Do you ever have any challenges? Like, are they aware of your custom collection and the other types of non-Lego, well, not official Lego endeavors that you embark upon? Like, do they look? I'm curious. I'm just curious because in the past I've talked to people that are truly embedded in the Lego lifestyle, kind of like Disney adults, but Lego. And boy, some of them have such disdain for the customs world, and they look down upon it in a quite unhealthy manner. And I'm just curious, like, as someone who's part of a lug and walking between both worlds, how does that balance work out? Do you hide it like a dirty secret, or do you...
Yes, it's my little dirty secret. No, I talk about it openly, but you're right. I do get those looks, so I don't really put my custom minifigs on with my mocks as much anymore. And I'm also afraid that they'll go missing. I feel like they have a disdain, but like Puritans, they do dirty things in the dark, But I once talked about, when someone asked me what I was building, I told him I was working on a dispensary. The way he looked at me as though we weren't adults talking about something that was totally innocuous. I didn't say,
And
yeah,
legal.
yeah, and legal depending on where you are. Like, but he definitely just walked away. I was like, oh shit, like I didn't realize that we couldn't be honest out here. So I would say there's some very diehard Lego enthusiasts in the group. They're big into space. Space is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what else do they do?
Medieval.
Base.
Medieval stuff too is pretty big.
Medieval stuff is big, and
or castle, I guess they'd call it.
Yeah, and a few mech builders, but most folks, I say they stay the sets, and you've got a couple of rock stars. I would say we have a lot of rock stars in our lug, which makes it kind of hard. We've got Lego Masters in there, and folks who have like a huge following on Instagram. So coming behind them is being like, hey,
well, we all started somewhere, and all mocks start the same, right? With a single brick. Do you?
Oh, I do. I definitely do. And I think that awareness is needed. So I look forward, honestly, to more people joining the lug. I know after, what was it, Brick World? Nope. ABC, BrickCon. We had new people join the lug. And so I'm hoping that they have that type of creativity to them as well. Just kind of openness into approaching builds differently. I think there's a lot of hive mind that happens in person, where it has to look a certain way or be a certain way, and then that creativity gets lost, and it can only be displayed if it's like you were talking about earlier, this huge build or this magnificent piece of artwork, and it's like, man, I built it on a 16 by 16 plate, and boom, this is what I got.
Isn't that not the plot of the Lego movie? It doesn't have to be the way it came out of the box and a certain way. It's about building what you want and just the joy of building in general and creativity.
It is.
It's
I am the special. Yeah. That's how I feel in the like I do. I feel like I am the special because this looks like something that your kid and I probably sat down together and came up with, but I just like the free exchange of ideas. It's just all supposed to be weird.
I get Lego groups that per se, and I'm not saying that I'm not trying to shit on Lego groups. I think they probably provide a great outlet both for social and mental well-beings and a healthy outlet for folks. I think it's spurring the creativity, but I can understand if a lug had like a series of like design parameters, like the new Hiroshima, cyberpunk city that was built. They've got a design language they've sailed upon, and you have to adhere to. I get that, but if it's just like, hey guys, let's just have some fun and build some shit, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. Which is why I do a Lego club at my wife's school, and it's kids. They're between the 3rd and 8th grade. And they rotate in and out. Whomever comes on whichever day is fine. But to watch their skills grow and to watch them look at a piece that I normally use as, a claw. And they're like, oh my God, look at this hammer. And I'm like, it's a hammer? Oh, okay. Show me how you're going to make it into a hammer. This is amazing. And they come up with the craziest things. We built what was it? This one girl, I think she was working out her rage because she built like this total death trap house where she was like, yeah, now there's a laser and the guy's inside and he's going to get cut by the saw. But first you have to approach and it was just this whole fantasy realm that she created. And I was like, yeah, well, let me find some pieces for you. Here's a great laser. Like, you want to shoot him in the eye? Here's how you make it. It's just like.
Create some H.H. Holmes murder house over here.
And the kids are all right.
Yeah.
They're going to be okay.
And we thought we were weird.
Quick sidebar, my youngest, like most kids, plays Roblox or used to play Roblox a lot. And there was some sort of role play neighborhood type game server that he was on. And he created a house to invite people in. But if they rang the doorbell, it started a trap that brought him down a shaft into a room that had nothing but a window. And there was no way out. There was no door. There was no way out. and he was just collecting people. I was just like, dude, this is insane, but it's awesome.
Right?
But then he like rigged it so like the room would have like no light when if you turn the lights on or off in that, so there's like no light in that house or in that room, so they're just stuck in the dark. The only way out was the disconnect from the server. So and they were like 12 at the time they were doing this.
It sounds the local the neighborhood terrorist,
Yeah.
man.
I was like, do I have to ask the neighbors if there are any cats missing or something? You know.
It's better to work it out online.
Here we go. Speaking of online,
Wow, you're so smooth.
you yourself do live streams as well, talking about brick shit.
Yeah, we talk about brick shit with Black Girl Bricks, aka Hope. That's my partner in crime, and we try and do it on Thursdays once a month, and where we just tackle different subjects. We say that we're niche because we're both Black queer women, which gives us a unique perspective on approaching Lego as a hobby and the community and who embraces us, how we're embraced. I can say on that note, I've been pleasantly surprised, especially by the customs community. I just want to shout you all out. I've had some intense conversations, not many, but a few. And man, every time I was just so surprised by the maturity and the understanding of the reception of the person on the other end. And it just really makes me respect them more. And, you know, we still talk to this day and it grows the relationship. But yeah, Hope and I, we tackle things like how much it is to make our sig figs. They're costly. They're little brown figures. So the heads are more expensive. Finding hands are more expensive because you have to buy like a torso that comes with the hands in the right color. And then you actually have to get the torso that you want to use. I don't have any particularly fresh kicks or legs, so my legs are rather cheap. But yeah, we just tackle our experience with Lego. And this last couple of weeks, we were building the medium Azure Lion. And so it was the first time we just decided to freestyle. We had no script. We didn't have anything to talk about. We just were building together and letting whatever conversations come with me. So that was a lot of fun. We talked about it in post, like, did you enjoy that? And it's like, actually, I did. We let the audience kind of carry it and just talked with the people online. So that was a lot of fun.
How long did the live streams usually run for?
We try and keep it to an hour.
Okay. Because I've seen you go live a few times, but it's always like I'm in my car about to head out to work, or I'm running an errand, and then I come back and you guys are gone. So I wasn't sure if like I was missing things, but you know, I've seen you go online a number of times, but it's always like been at a time where I'm like, shit, I didn't plan for this. So I do want to hop in at least once or twice and say hi. But if you ever need some extra visibility, let me know. I'll be happy to share it. That's not a problem.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, once we get back, so for a while we went away because Hope was moving and she wasn't in a place where she could do Lego. So now we're back on it, and yeah, I'll let you know once we go ahead and get our schedule together. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime. I mean, that pretty much goes for anybody. I'll just put this out there now. Anybody who's got any sort of community-based effort trying to build a better rapport with their fans, or connect with people, or talk about subjects that are not widely discussed that deserve more attention, give me a holler and I'll pay you. I don't care. I mean, I'm all about it costs me nothing. So it only helps seeing you guys out. Kerry, did you have any other questions you'd like to ask?
Yep. Sorry, I'm so engrossed in this combo. I do want to say your live streams are awesome. I had a really good time watching them, and I missed the last one because I was at work and my reception sucked. But definitely check it out, everyone.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for doing it. It's always I've done one or two like just impromptu ones, and it's kind of fun,
Yeah, I remember the one you.
It's kind of fun to see who comes on, and
I remember the one you did where you were just fig barfing with Nick, right?
Nick and Zach, and we're just like showing weird shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah, I
fun.
popped in
Yeah.
on that one too. That was fun.
It's always
We had no
it's
idea what
always
we
a
were doing. It
challenge
was
to like
kind of
I've done live streams before where like Marcus tried to join in, and once he did, it's like my video all went to shit and was pixelated for the rest of it. That's just Instagram being crappy.
Yep.
And I don't know, it feels like every time I do a live stream now it's to address something like important, and I wouldn't mind doing another just a fun build or a mock, or just I don't know, someone asked me to start reviewing some of the figures that I get, old and new, so maybe I'll try to do something like that.
Yeah,
I
I'd love
I, I,
to.
I really enjoyed the Q&A that I did the other week. It was a lot of fun. So people had some really good questions, and I just want to circle back and say I think it's awesome that especially in today's political climate, you were able to like find a shape an audience that, or have an audience you find you that is like mature and capable of having like intelligent conversations about things and not be all hateful. I've seen Tips and Bricks has been trying to tackle some of these political issues, and those ignorant comments come out of them. And I don't think, and I applaud Tips and Bricks for still plugging away at it, because like personally, like I would never have thought about, okay, why do brown heads and brown hands cost more? That shouldn't
Right.
even be a thing. It's almost like the pink tax, right? For like, you
Mhm.
buy for those who aren't familiar with the pink tax, quite often you could find the women's version, quote unquote, and the only difference is it's pink and it's like $2 more or something. And it's the exact same product that you can buy elsewhere. So I just
and we don't even like pink, so
Yeah.
quit it.
Well, fun side fact. It back in the day, originally it was blue was feminine and pink was masculine. That's the
What?
truth. Yeah.
When did it change and why? That's
Oh my
strange.
Yeah,
gosh.
when was that?
Well, because times
How old are you, Brett?
Remind us to geek over 40.
Well, the same. It goes back to the same reasons we have like Hallmark holidays, and we have it was basically the companies that build and promote baby products and baby clothing, and they're the ones that kind of change the narrative of it. Don't ever underestimate the power of marketing. For instance, like the classic image of Santa that we have, Santa Claus, big fat beard, that came from Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that whole image of Santa and the iconic stereotype of what we call Santa now, that all came from a soda company. So there's and I'm sure there's gonna be people putting comments about like, well, actually, blah, 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 blah. I'm paraphrasing here. Well, this is hyperbolic, but the point is, originally, yes, it was considered pink was masculine and blue was feminine, and then over time, narrative shift, things change. But yeah, I can't remember if it was like a year or so ago that I learned it, but I thought it was interesting. It was the advent of all the crazy baby um, sex reveals that people were doing and causing wildfires and shit.
Yeah.
That's when I started learning about the background behind it. I don't know. Everyone else, go out there, educate yourself. And I'm not going to answer it because I'm not a sociologist. But if I'm wrong, DM me.
They will.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
They're
I
doing
can
it
see it pushing
already.
up the glasses now. Well, actually.
Yeah. Don't DM me. I am a fan of the block button. I protect my peace online. Like, I block people who make hateful comments in other people's sections. Like, they're not even talking to me, and I'm just like, yep, block. I don't need to see
Oh man, I had Zach actually send me a screenshot of somebody else's IG story, because it says they have posted a story, but I can't see it. And then so he sent me a screenshot. I'm like, oh, because he's sharing that guy's post. Yeah, I blocked that dude. He's a fucking bigot.
Right.
Yeah. I never even interacted with the guy. I saw what he did to other people, and I was like, oh, gone. Anyway, happy positive episode.
Totally.
Nice.
So continue on with the community. Do you have any tips for anybody that might be getting started? That just like wanting to learn and meet new people, or maybe they feel they fall into a niche of some sort and they want to find quote unquote their people that get them, because I mean that's a lot of reasons why we all connect so well, is because we want to find people that get us. but also, some of these folks are introverts and they're not ready to just engage somebody. Do you have any tips?
I would say, don't ever push it. I talk with some people kind of casually, or maybe I like their posts and just like, hey, that was really cool. And that's about as much conversation as we have. And they go, thanks, and maybe it takes months before we actually connect over something. But I would say, don't necessarily expect to connect with everyone at once. Take your time getting to know people. Like you said, some people are introverts. Sometimes I'm on the run and I don't have much to say. Like I'm looking at it and I'm out and I go, thanks so much. And that's all I have for the moment. And you won't hear from me for another 2 weeks, Also, follow people. I look at people who follow people or who they're following. I look at to see new accounts that I may be missing out on. People post a lot to their stories, so I go, actually to the page rather than if I like something or I think it's really hot, I go to that person's page and look through, follow them. I don't know, just know what you like. It takes sometimes a while, especially when you're new, because there's just so much to get into. There's stop motion, there's building mechs, there's making mocks and habitats and all types of stuff. And of course, when you get into customs, there's like that rabbit hole you can go down. And so know what you like and follow that for a while, I can say that I definitely got lost when I first started. When I mentioned before, what I really wanted to do from the start was mock. That's all I wanted to do was to build my own thing. And I got caught up in buying sets of the summer last year just because I wanted to learn more building techniques. But it also took me away from what I was doing on my own, which is just kind of playing with my imagination and letting things run. And I got so caught up in, well, it doesn't have enough and it's not filled out enough, but I was fine with it, So it's don't perform for anyone, do it for you. That can sound hard, but it's like, in the end, do you like it? I don't care if I get 3 likes on something. That happens to me a lot where I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. And it's like a very low response. But to me, I'm like, this is the shit. You all are missing out. You don't know what's good. Something that I can create.
When we hang up today, I want you
Yeah.
to DM me the one post you're most proud of that you feel didn't get enough love.
Okay.
And see what we can do.
All right, let's do it.
See what we can do.
I don't know. Now I got to look through. That's good pressure. I like
Take
that.
as far back as you want. And we'll see what we can do.
Okay.
No, because even some of my most proudest work has gone unnoticed. And I personally, I'm a fan of not the likes. I'm a fan of the comments. I like the questions.
Agree.
The comments are like, oh, this is fire, oh, the goat, or this is cool, or this is all. Those are great, but I would actually rather have people ask questions like, so how did you do this? How did you engage that? Or how did you build this? If people ask me more of those types of questions, I'd be happy to answer. I'm hoping at some point, if I get off my ass and figure out how I want to do it, is to live stream my editing, or at least do live streams where I can break down my edits and to show people the tips and tricks that I use. Because I use a lot of very simple tools just in very tricky ways to create complex things, because you don't need to have all the fanciest software to pull off some really amazing stonework on your edits. But no, everything you said was golden, and thank you for sharing that, because it's probably one thing we haven't covered very well on this podcast is, we try to introduce them to the ways and the workings of the customs world, or and the various tiers they're in, but we never really give that how to. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Glad I could be of help and assistance. I'm getting it out the way early this week.
Like that's my one. I'm done.
Yep, I'm done. Okay. I set a goal. I've achieved it. Now I'm good.
Kerry, did you have any other questions you'd like to ask?
Yeah. I want to know, okay, picture this. Your house is burning down. Everyone's safe. You have time to grab one minifig. Just one. What are you grabbing?
I'm grabbing my sig fig. I love her.
You're not grabbing my sig fig?
Oh yeah. Let Brett burn too. Let Brett.
Yeah, I'm not another one.
Listen, I am saving many. I was never really into dolls when I was a kid, but I feel like I dress her up and I change her outfit like almost like monthly. She is,
I love that torso. I've got one too. The "Don't Touch Me" peasant from K-Town.
yeah.
That's a great torso.
I picked this up at BrickCon, so Atlanta BrickCon. So it was great seeing them in person. I like got to talk to him.
Oh,
And I
he's
listened to
so
the
nice.
interview. Super nice. And I listened to the interview before I went to BrickCon because I was like, maybe they're gonna be here. So it was really nice to just reference and chat for a hot second. I even got a K-Town badge brick because that's what happens when you're actually like engaged people and you're authentic. People give you things. So that was
Nice.
like super sweet.
Well, so this has been a lot of us asking you questions. I'm curious if you have any questions for Kerry or myself.
Let's see.
No
I'm sure
pressure.
I
You don't
do.
have to.
No, I'm sure I do.
Personal, custom related. Don't care.
Why do you continue to do this? Why do you continue to collect customs and reach out to the community?
Who's that for, Kerry or myself?
You.
Man, that's a question I ask myself every damn day. That's a hard one. I wish I had alcohol instead of water in front of me right now.
Take a swig, Kerry.
I got a red
Suckers.
cup, but it's only water.
I had alcohol.
Having been someone who's come into this community, at the bottom like everybody else, and networked and worked my way up, and got to know a lot of folks and build a large, support base of people I can talk to or resources I can tap into. Um, I understand that's not easy for everybody else. I understand it's not some people's intention uh, or want, but if you've got the ability to help somebody out, like earlier this week, some guy reached out to me saying, "Hey, do you know someone that's selling a Phoenix Customs Mark 85 Iron Man fig?" And my response is immediately, well, not off the top of my head because I don't have a catalog of this shit. I can't keep track of everybody. But let me tell you about the Geek Exchange. And then I sent it, and he's all excited. He's like, "All right, cool, I'll be there, for the Geek Exchange." Well, then it just so happens somebody else posted they had one for sale. So I literally went through my inbox because I can remember who it was because I've been doing a lot of DMing lately. And I just searched those terms in my Instagram for the message that retained it, managed to connect the two. They made a deal. Everyone's happy. It only took me like a minute to make that connection for those two people to make a deal. Someone trying to sell something, someone trying to buy something. I don't see why someone wouldn't put forth the effort, right? That's my thing. And if you got the power and ability to do it, just do it. If it doesn't cost you anything, just fucking do it. Now, right now it has cost me like time, but currently my kids are teenagers, so they're on their own. They're on autopilot. And my wife currently works night shift at the hospital, so our schedules are flip-flopped, so I have a lot of free time. Now, if that had been different, I would put my family first, obviously. If I had little ones and my wife was, day shift, I wouldn't be on doing this as much. But, there was a time in the past where we had problems with custom brands, and I saw people of influence that could have possibly made a difference and didn't want to get involved. It was just, wasn't their problem. And I didn't like that attitude. And I just felt like if I was in that position, that's what I would want to do. I don't know. I don't have a short answer for this, Shawty. I really don't. Um, Anything I say is going to sound like pompous.
Like I need to put your
It's going to sound very
your
pretentious about, because maybe it was my dad, or, my mom raised me. I don't fucking know. I just know that if I have the chance to help somebody, and I think it's cool because the more we break down the walls between the collectors and the resellers and the brand owners, inherently everyone becomes more humanized. There's a bigger effect felt when you disappoint somebody. So the resellers, they connect more with the buyers. They understand the buyer's needs more. They listen to the buyers more. They start making characters that the buyers are interested in rather than what they just want to do on their own. The resellers understand the importance of customer service more and start communicating more. And I don't like to carbon date these episodes, but like right now we're in the middle of the Rex uh, Spidey situation, and we're about a third of the way through this whole story to see it through so that people don't have to pay extra for their figs. I I just think it'd be cool to just have everyone looking out for each other, because when we do that, it makes it harder for the assholes to succeed. It makes it harder for people that are just in this to scalp or, flip things or fuck people over with deals. It makes it harder for them to survive. And,
Yeah.
we've seen scalpers that have been sitting on stock for almost a year now that they can't let go of because everyone came together and put them on blast saying, no, don't buy these. There's more coming out, blah, blah, blah. And it's hilarious. I mean, I don't want ill will on anybody, but if your intention is to deceive or profit off someone's misfortune, I'm going to laugh at you. So you ask why I do it. Why not? That's my answer.
That's a good answer.
I mean, I've burned myself out on sleep quite a bit. My physical health has suffered as a result of it. I'm taking more steps to make sure I get better sleep and get back out there running with my dog and working out more again. So I'm finding a balance. It's like getting into collecting, right? You get in, you dive in, you get exposed to all this shit, and now you got to learn how to pull yourself back out and figure out what you're comfortable with and what your goal is. So I went all in, and now I'm pulling myself out, trying to find more of a balance. I got a chance to do some posts to my Instagram page for a while, but and I was doing Geek Exchange, but guess what happened? No podcast. So now I'm doing podcasts again. I got to find a way to do posts, podcasts, Geek Exchange, and then my own personal life all at once. So it's a challenge. I feel like this episode's turned into about me, and it really should not have been. It should be about you.
No, yeah, take it. I
You
was
had a,
prepared to
I
answer.
don't, you couldn't just ask what's your favorite minifigure, but no,
I know, right?
I appreciate you taking it deep, right?
I feel
That's
like you've
awesome.
asked that question before, so we can go there. But
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, cutting deep on that. So thank you. Because honestly, I
okay.
really don't have an answer. I'm still trying to figure it out. One of the reasons I still do it is because I have great friends to rely on. I've got Kerry here and Zach and Marcus, Nick, Phil, the whole FigCast crew, and then the folks in my other closed group chats that, I know I can talk to about anything minifigure related, personal related, you name it. It's been really I've got cell phone numbers of these guys now, and or WhatsApp numbers I can also call. And doesn't have to be talking about Lego. It's just how's your day going? That kind of helps a lot. So
Yeah, I feel like I'm there now. In community, like with Kerry, with Zach. Just, hey, how are you today? What's going on with you? It's not necessarily always Lego related, and I like that. It feels more like a human on the other side. Like when you're talking
Mm.
through the scope of Lego and the hobby, it leads you to one. I don't know. It doesn't form a full person. It's an IG handle and just someone you're going, oh yeah, that's hot, that's great. Don't do that. Do this. Try this. But when you're like, oh man, there's an actual human who has a whole life and there's something about them unique about them that I want to know more about. You know what I mean? And I come to care about you in whatever way. It's like just, hey, you okay over there? And it's just nice to be able to reach out.
that's what's great about having this podcast is I get the chance to get to know people more on a personal level, and I get to see faces,
True.
which is great. And now that we're using the software, if people are comfortable, maybe in the future we'll do video podcasts. I just know some people don't like being on camera, and I don't want to push them in that direction.
Yeah, I would have had to take my hair out so you can see my big hair.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I do have a question for Kerry.
Uh-oh.
I know. Yep.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
All
right.
So you've been putting things out for sale lately. How do you decide what you're selling? Like you've got a pretty extensive collection over there. How do you decide what goes on the auction block?
That's a great question.
Well, I'm trying to I'm trying to buy less in the sense that instead of just, I guess I'm trying to focus more on what I'm using. So I like whatever the other day I went through and I'm like, I haven't touched this thing I bought for anything. So it's just sitting in a case and it's like, well, I'm sure someone else would want it. So that's kind of what's been happening. That's how I decide. And yeah, feels good to let go, you know?
Definitely. What would you not part with?
Oh, your house is on fire
Lots.
now, Kerry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My house is on fire. Everyone's burning. I'm taking just Lego. No, oof. I don't know. I have like a couple. Wait, am I only picking one
Yep.
thing? Oof. It's got tougher, but I do have a fig that somebody gifted me that I would take.
You just leave it at that.
Yep.
It's on
Okay.
it's on my page. I can send you the
Is it aqua?
picture. No,
Oh, wow.
What?
Some
Yeah.
aqua burns.
I'm more than just an aqua hoe. I like
It's a bumper
She did
sticker.
that tattoo.
Surprisingly, it's not aqua.
I want a dramatic reading of that next time. I'm more than just an aqua
Yeah.
hoe.
I need a t-shirt for sure.
Cool.
It's actually, you know what? I don't need to send a pic. It's the logo for my mock-off thing. It's that fig. That's the one that I would take. So it's basically me.
Yeah.
So you
It's
would
my
say
sig
your
fig.
minifig too, a variation of one.
You bunch of narcissists. All about your sig figs.
Mm-hmm.
Just me.
That's
Just
my-
saving myself, you know?
Me, I'm like, I'm going to run out with the most expensive one to help offset the cost of rebuilding my house.
That's smart. I wish I had thought of that when I answered.
But,
I have one more thing, and it's just
Okay.
I've run across it like 3 times now, and I don't know if it's a trend or what, but when I'm contacting private sellers, you know, I get pretty ambitious when I start. And I'm like, hey, how much for this, this, this? You know, I may list 6 or 7 things. And they come back with a price that's just crazy to me, you know, like maybe they're selling torsos for $15 or whatever. And I'm like, ooh, that's steep. Let me just stick to the 2 or 3 things that I actually want, you know? So I'm still shopping, not trying to haggle. But it's a sense of entitlement that I should buy more or that you're expecting to capitalize and, you know, like get everything off at once, or maybe there's a minimum fee you're expecting to hit. But if that's the case, just say so. Like, hey, I expect you to buy $50 worth of stuff from me. That helps, but yeah, I don't know. It just turns me off, and I don't shop with them eventually. But it's just like, be reasonable. Understand people have budgets. You know, like you're not the main seller. You're a reseller, and so we all kind of know how much this stuff costs. Sometimes it's still on a website,
yeah.
so you're tripping. You know,
Yeah.
so just keep those things in mind. Just, you know, be humble, man. Like, no, if you're trying to get rich doing it, you're in the wrong place to do it. You need to go ahead and open up a shop. Otherwise, just understand, like, we're all just people out here trying to make it, man.
I don't understand the mentality. Some people just like the art of the deal and they love haggling. But yeah, I've been in that situation before where I've seen people keep asking me about anything else. I'm like, look, I understand, you know, you're trying to get this all out in one envelope and you maybe, you know, like printing off labels or something. Maybe that's your thing. But I only want this one thing. This is why I contacted you, because you have for sale.
Right.
You know, two types of deals I generally avoid are the ones where people say, make me an offer. It's a big
Oh,
turn
yeah.
off. It's a big turn off for me. I just like, you know what?
Fucking hate that.
I was like, you know what
Hate
your
it.
fucking limit is. Just tell me what you
Yeah.
expect. And if you don't know and you're asking for an offer because you have no idea what the window range is for that item, do your research before you put your thing up for sale. Ask people, hey, what do you think someone would pay for this? You know?
Hell yeah, I'm Caribbean, man. I'm always gonna lowball you. We have you tell me make me an offer, I'm going to offend you. So I'm starting with $5. All right, that's my starting bid. What do you want? You know, like
Shit, I'll go lower. I'm like, you've got my gratitude. That's what I'll start paying you with. After that, we can start talking cash, you know. Or it's like trade only, trade only. Like, man, I'm trying to trade you cash.
Right. What is up with that? No, I get it. Sometimes
Everyone's got their thing, and I can't judge. No, no king shaming here. You do what you gotta do.
I
But
can, and I do.
Judge a little bit.
I judge it.
Yeah, just a bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
but yeah, I just say trust your gut. And if the deal goes sour quick, or you know, like it's not going smooth, a deal should be easy as far as I'm concerned.
Still doing.
Well, also, if you're posting like a bunch of different pieces, you should expect that you're going to have a bunch of different people messaging you and a bunch of packages to ship.
Yeah. I hate
Yeah.
selling pieces personally. I'm like, man, all this effort to sell a $2.
It's a lot of work.
I sold
but
like a head for like $3. I was like, it's a lot of effort because I'm like, dude, it's more like because man, you're about to pay like $4.50 in postage because for this $3.50 head. I think that's where from a seller standpoint, I would encourage someone saying, "Is just sure there's nothing else you want?" Because to make this shipping worth it.
well, that makes sense.
But
Yeah.
you know, in the past, like I sold what was it, warheads on foreheads. He bought something from me. I just threw in like 2 torsos on the side. I was like, I got to make this package feel worth it because the bubble mailer was so light. I'm like, this thing's gonna get stuck between the door of the post office, you know, mailman's truck. I gotta add some, throw some cardboard or some rocks in it, something. So I threw like an overprint Geek Over 40 torso in there, and I threw something else in there because I'm like, I know I'm not gonna use this torso. He might appreciate it. Just put it out there. But yeah, I don't like mailing things that are super light. That's my thing. So like a bubble mailer with a head, I feel like it's just gonna get lost in the wind or something. I need to like buy some lead weights to put in envelopes. Alrighty. Well, that's all we got for you. If you've got anything else for us, Kerry, do you have anything?
I got
You
nothing.
got nothing? Well, this has been awesome.
been-
Shawty, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I really, this has been fantastic. Open door if you ever want to come back on. I know Zach was really bummed out that he was having internet issues and was really hoping to hang out with you tonight. So if anything, maybe we can get him on your live stream, or we can just come back and do another episode talking about something else.
Yeah, man. We can always talk some brick shit.
Talk some brick shit. If you and it does not have to be limited to just, you know, topics that I come up with. If you've got an idea that you think would make for a good idea, you know, hit me up. We can work something out.
Will
Yeah.
do.
All righty. So that being said, we're gonna go ahead and close this out. I will put Shawty's Instagram link in the show notes, and be sure to look for her live stream of Talking Brick Shit. Don't forget to look us up on Instagram under bigbadfigcast, and of course I'm Geek Over 40. And if you like what we're doing here and you want to show your support, there'll be a link in the show notes to buy me a coffee. As always, it's never obligated, but always appreciated. And that's it. We'll say bye. Everyone say bye.
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 All right, have a good one.
I want you on my rack. I want to make you ring. I want you to unwrap. I want to pull your string. Bring me the next